Hi, everybody. Judy, the YouTube lawyer here. I'm here today with my friend, fellow YouTuber, Dawn Dacquisto, who is a true crime buff. She has her own YouTube channel. Please support her, Dawn Dacquisto. She has also been covering the Dan Markel Adelson case. But today we're going to be talking about the Lori Vallow Daybell murder trial. So thank you so much, Dawn, for being on today.
Oh, I'm so happy to be here. It's good to see you and good to see everyone in the chat. Hi.
Yeah. Welcome everybody. And let's see who's interested in this trial because it sure is very complex. There are so many characters and weird things that have happened over the years. It's a very complex, intriguing case. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, Dawn, do you want to start things off by introducing yourself to the viewers?
Well, yeah. Hey, I'm Dawn.
Okay.
And I was just thinking a lot about why I am into true crime because I wasn't. For the longest time, I wouldn't watch the local news. I didn't want to have anything to do with it until I did. And then suddenly a few years ago, I got very interested in watching trials. And I have since found it really therapeutic to learn about people who are willing to do crimes, whether it's murders or financial crimes or scamming people or whatever. It's really, really super empowering, I think, to learn about true crime. And it's tragic too. One of the things I love about your channel and you, Judy, is that you bring some humor to the table. I love it, and creativity.
Thank you.
So great. But yeah, so that's kind of my thing. I'm disabled, so I'm retired. I'm in my 60s already. I can't believe my life is already.
Oh, well, you look so young.
And I do skincare as a side gig, and I started a YouTube channel. I think I had a YouTube channel for a long time with my skincare, but it wasn't as much fun as true crime. I don't know why I have so much fun with it.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I have a podcast. We talk about football. I'm going to be on another YouTube channel after this tonight. The draft is going on. So I'm interested in a lot of, and I'm an artist.
That's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
You get to really explore your different hobbies and niche interests. And so that's why, I think it's always fun to talk to somebody who's really into a case that I'm really into and interested in also. And I'm sure it sounds like you have really been following this Lori Vallow Daybell case for quite a while.
I have.
And I mean, do you want me to go ahead and start showing those graphics that you made?
Oh, yeah, if you'd like to.
Yeah, let me try to.
Yeah.
Okay. So for those of you guys who want a brief summary of the case, Lori Vallow is this woman in her late 40s who is on trial right now for first-degree murder, conspiracy to commit murder, and grand theft in connection to the deaths of her two children, J.J. Vallow and Tylee Ryan, as well as the death of her current husband's late wife, Tammy Daybell. So she married Chad Daybell, who's kind of like some doomsday guy who wrote a bunch of weird books and stuff. Yeah. And it was sort of like a cult that they were involved in. So would you like to add some more details? Like, how would you explain the case?
I mean, gosh, there's so much to this case that's not part of the existing trial, the trial that's going on. But like right here in this video, on this graphic here, you can see you can see Lori's mom and dad up on the top. Janice, I forgot his name. By the way, he was stuck into, her father was, I believe, in jail for tax evasion or something like that. He was known,
some sleazy.
Mm-hmm. He was known for his creative financing.
Okay.
And I find that that's something really common with criminals and criminal families, that they don't have respect for, any laws, right? Mm-hmm. Like just even paying your taxes, basic things that everyone, you would think would want to do. Mm-hmm. So Lori was one of 5. So Lori has a brother named Alex who is very much involved in these crimes. He is now dead. He married one of her cult members, Zulema, who says that he attempted to murder, she thinks, on their wedding night. But she was a witness in the trial. She has immunity. She might be one of the unnamed, by the way, there are, a lot of people forget this, there are unnamed conspirators
Oh.
also.
Wait, what did you just say, that Alex was suspected of murdering?
Zulema, attempted murder.
Oh, really? But I thought they had only been married for 12 days.
12 days.
What?
That's right.
How crazy.
She tells this awful story in the police interview, and I have it on my channel. He, on their wedding night, was going to give her a massage. She had a sore neck or something like that, and I think he might have been a massage therapist as well as a comic and other things. And he's like, okay, but we need to go get a tarp from Walmart.
Okay, we gotta go get a tarp from Walmart. How often?
I mean, of course, everybody does that. You know, something about not getting the oils on the bus, something like that. I think they were in a hotel room. So she goes along and she lies down on this tarp on their bed, and she basically says, long story short, that she thinks she was given some kind of a date rape drug. She couldn't wake up. He was talking to somebody. She thinks it was his sister, and that he was acting really weird. But she didn't get murdered, obviously.
Okay, he didn't just reach out and try to strangle her while giving her a massage.
Maybe he chickened out. Maybe he had a conscious moment, a moment of, I don't want to do this because she was nice. I don't know. Then 12 days later, he's dead.
Yeah.
And some people think she might have done it. Yeah. So it's
so suspicious. Yeah. But wasn't his death supposed to be from some heart problem or embolism, or what was it?
Embolism. Yeah. And interestingly, a lot of them are showing up dead with pulmonary embolism. So there are things you can take that could cause you to clot more quickly. I actually am prone to pulmonary embolism, and it can run in the family, and it's said to run in their family. But well, he was also, the day before he died, went to Mexico to probably get something from a pharmacy, is what
like drugs.
Yeah, what they think. Yeah. So she has another brother named Adam. I think that's the one you and I were just chatting about. Adam was quoted as saying, "For Lori, life means nothing."
Really?
She has their oldest sister was dead a long time ago. And that was another weird one. She was anorexic, she was diabetic, lots of things. However, Alex was alone with her when she died.
Oh, and he suspicious.
He was arrested for using her credit cards the day of her death. And her entire family was in Hawaii, I don't know, vacationing or whatever, and didn't come home. They knew she was dying and didn't come home, and left her with Alex.
Oh, so how long ago was that?
Many years. Let's see. I have that written down.
Like they were young adults or teenagers or what?
Yes. Yeah, I have it written down. I don't have, let me see.
Boy, this family is doomed, full of doom and death.
Yeah, and she's the mother of Melanie. So Melanie is Lori's niece. Underneath her, you see she had Melanie. Melanie married Brandon Boudreau. They had a wonderful life, and all of a sudden Alex Cox attempted to murder him.
What? Yep. Really? I didn't even hear about that.
I know. There's so much. This is in Arizona.
Wait, but why? What would be the motive for him to want to kill Brandon?
I was convinced to divorce him. They got a divorce, and as soon as they got the divorce, he was wealthy. He had a nice life insurance policy.
Oh, life insurance. Yeah.
It's always life insurance.
Yeah, I know. It's always like, hey, where's the life insurance proceeds now that my spouse has died a couple of days ago?
Exactly. I mean, and there's a lot in this case, in this current trial. They're allowing a lot of this in about. In fact, Brandon Boudreau did testify, and they're also allowing a lot about Charles Vallow's death. So, so heading back over to the right there. So we've got Stacy, Adam's alive, but he's in hiding because he thought he was next.
Okay, so Adam is Lori's other brother.
Yep. Okay. And then Alex, who married Zulema, and then of course Lori's there with the charged under her picture.
Mhm.
And then the other sister, the youngest sister, is Summer, all the way to the,
Yeah.
depending on which way you're looking at this.
Yeah, the one who testified recently.
She did. She
So
did.
sad. Yeah.
She also had a quote. It's a little bit covered up here on this graphic. It said about Charles Vallow, "I will kill him myself."
Oh,
Yeah. So Lori married 5 men. So
yeah.
she married Nelson when she was a teenager, and then William, who was Colby Ryan's father, even though
Mhm.
Colby Ryan took Joseph Ryan, her
Yeah,
third
I
husband's
noticed that.
name. Hmm.
Mhm.
And then Colby's alive. Joseph Ryan was Tylee Ryan's father.
Mhm.
And then she married Charles Vallow, and they adopted JJ.
Yeah.
And then she
It makes
married
some sense.
Chad Daybell, right?
Mhm.
Now, so she's got 5 husbands there. 2 of them are dead. One's in
Mhm.
prison
Mhm.
for murdering, for attempted murder or whatever. So, a lot of people talk also now. Chad's wife is dead, Tammy
Mhm.
Daybell. So that's the conspiracy to murder. She's been charged with conspiracy on Tammy, but murder on her 2 children. So thank you,
Okay.
Helen.
Yeah, people are really enjoying. Thank you so much for putting this together because this helps us visualize these people and how strange, like that can't be a coincidence, that all these people keep dying and the husbands are dead. And who's Eldon Clausen?
So Eldon Clausen is a neighbor of Chad's who died within days of JJ's death.
Oh, and people think maybe he was a potential witness.
Well, Eldon was known for being a snoopy neighbor. He knew everything that was going on, and he would walk up and down that creek right on the side of the road where you can actually see the fire pit and you can see where everything is happening.
Mhm.
And by all accounts, from what we've seen so far, this happened during the day. Burials, burning of people's bodies, all of dismemberment in the day. So it's very possible Eldon saw something. He also ended up in the ditch dead with, guess what? A
Oh.
pulmonary embolism.
Oh, I wonder what drug or what substance could they be given
I
that
know.
would be causing
Whatever it
these
is,
things?
I want to know because I want to stay away from it, right?
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
no one has been charged with Eldon. Lori also has 2 dead attorneys.
Yeah. I was going to ask you about that. So, what was the deal with the dead attorneys?
That one I haven't researched a ton. But and again, these are all alleged connections. I'm not accusing anyone of anything.
Mhm.
But it sure is weird, isn't it? Like Alex just happened to be dead the day that Tammy's body was exhumed,
Mhm.
because she was dead, and she was basically buried immediately with no autopsy.
Yeah.
And she was, by all accounts, healthy
Mhm.
and maybe 50-ish. And Lori, I believe, is 50 now.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was just reading some article where there were witnesses who testified that Tammy was just, healthy. She was taking clogging lessons. She was exercising. She
Yeah,
looked totally fine that day, the
yeah.
day before she was found dead in the morning with some sort of weird red foam coming out of her
Ugh,
mouth on her face.
yeah.
Yeah. And so was it her son from a previous marriage who found her?
Tammy,
Yeah, Tammy.
she was in bed with Chad.
Oh,
He
okay.
called his son. He called his
Okay.
son. Yeah, they had 5 children together.
Oh, okay.
And so and it's important to remember that Tammy died while Chad was still married to her. Charles died while Lori was still married to him. So these were
Mhm.
not like exes.
Yeah.
Now,
Yep.
yeah,
Yep.
just really, yeah.
Very married. Yeah.
Sorry.
Very suspicious. Yeah,
Very
then right afterwards, they got married once their spouses died.
immediately. Yep. And Lori likes to go to Hawaii when bad things are happening, and she was in Hawaii, pretended not to know, flew back that day, and was talking to him about, they were making plans for marriage before he was even gone. Now, a lot of people don't know that Charles Vallow actually told Lori that he was going to contact Tammy because he was going to put an end to this.
Yeah.
Um, because they were cheating basically.
Yeah, I read
And he
about
did.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, he did. It's unclear whether she saw the email. It looks like she got the email and threw it away. But I mean, by most accounts, by her family and friends said that she was acting like something was wrong for a couple of weeks. So she probably was aware what was going on. It's been suggested that we was telling her he was going to have a second wife, so go the polygamy route.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I counted either attempted or murders or suspicious deaths. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, right?
Mm,
2,
yeah.
4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Yeah.
Oh,
Right.
okay. So the kind of older black and white picture in the top left, is that the older sister who died under mysterious circumstances a long time ago?
Yes, that's Stacy.
Oh, yeah, that's sad. But so ultimately, did they even have an autopsy done, or they just assumed, well, she was anorexic, so she must have died from some issue related to that?
I don't remember if they had an autopsy, but I do know, and she may have even had an embolism. I
Ooh.
do know that they mentioned that, and it can be genetic, like it's in my family, got predisposition to pulmonary. I've had
Oh,
bilateral blood clots in my lung.
oh my gosh.
I was
Oh,
like giving up for dead.
oh,
And somehow I was like, hi, I'm back.
oh.
But and I didn't know it, and it's in our family. We all got genetically tested. So I'm guessing that they have that rolling in their family as well. So I don't remember the details on Stacy. And of course, a lot of people are just saying, yeah, that's not that wasn't suspicious. But there was so much suspicious about that. Why was she left alone with Alex? A lot of people are calling Alex the family assassin. I mean,
Yeah.
I wonder if there's this many, how many more there are that we don't know about.
Yeah. And so what does code mean? You see that?
Code was her husband's last name.
Oh, I was like, code what? Like
I
code red
forgot his
or
first
something?
name. Yep.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
So
Yep.
so that was the husband. Wow. Okay, I did not know about the two attorneys who passed away. Were those Lori's attorneys?
Yes, one was right after a bankruptcy settlement where she got money, and there was another one, and I haven't had a chance to look into those, so I could be wrong, but I've heard that in a couple different places. So I put them on the chart just so that I did this chart so I could visualize this, and then look at all the children involved. Isn't that sad?
Yeah.
Melanie and Brandon have 4 beautiful children. Chad and Tammy had 5. They're adults now. She's starting to have grandchildren. Charles had 2 other children before he married Lori, so they don't have their father now. So it's pretty, and then, yeah, it's just pretty gruesome.
Yeah. Yeah, and that poor boy, or well, he's not a boy anymore, but Colby had to testify against his mother, right?
That's right. That's right.
Yeah. Yeah.
He
Awful.
noticed that well, the funny thing, he noticed that the text messages supposedly from Tylee didn't sound like Tylee after a while. So Lori was using her phone and using her finances and whatnot. The reason I noticed this, I have literally followed this from the beginning. I heard about that. I tend to notice when children are missing.
Yeah.
Because of what happened in my childhood. And it happened in an area that I'm really familiar with. I've been in that area.
Oh, what's it like?
It's beautiful. It's Idaho. It's known for, this particular area is known for fly fishing. Like people like Dick Cheney go there every year, has a place up there. It's just the place to go for fly fishing. I'm not a fisher. I don't do that. But I have a friend who has a cabin there. And it's so funny because they'll mention this town and that town and this place. And it's like, oh, I've been to all these places. It's beautiful in the summer. It's beautiful. It's right by Yellowstone Park.
Yeah.
And it's just, there's moose everywhere. And it's just super, super serene and fun. It's just like the perfect summer kind of vacation.
Yeah. But it's also like the perfect place to commit crimes because if you're so spread out, you have a huge, acres of land around where you live. So Charles, so Daybell was the person who worked at a cemetery, right? And they had a pet cemetery on his property?
Well, they had a pet cemetery for their animals. And previously, before they moved to Idaho, he worked in Utah as a sexton and a grave digger.
Mm-hmm. What's a sexton?
They take care of the cemetery property.
Oh, okay, like a groundskeeper.
Yeah. I had to look that up. Okay. And another thing is, I saw an interesting interview on another channel, and I'm sorry, I can't remember names right now, but it was another neighbor who got out of there. And she said when the kids went missing, there was a mass exodus. There were more people involved in these belief systems than a lot of people are like, oh, it's just these people. No, there were a lot more involved, and they literally just took off out of town, according to this neighbor. And she said that Elton, the neighbor who ended up dead, she's very suspicious about that. But she said the family was connected with these beliefs. And so they didn't want to have it looked into at all. And I'm sure the police had their hands full. This is like a tiny little town. I mean, there's property, spread out all over the place. They're kind of like farm-like type properties. But I can't even imagine. I mean, how many murders can they go after? They're so complex, and it's just a tiny little town. I know where that courthouse is. It's tiny.
Oh.
When they had the proceedings, I'm like, oh my gosh, in St. Anthony, and you can literally spit through these towns. They're so tiny. So, hey, Angela.
Hi, Angela. Hi, Helen and Too Deep, everybody who is here.
Oh, Too Deep's here. I can't. It's so weird because I can look at the comments. Oh,
yes, you can see it.
I'm not used to being dressed.
Helen is saying, I heard he texted Tammy about shooting the raccoon, but it was Lori's children.
Huh? Yeah, that would have been only. So by that would have been Tylee, not Tylee and JJ. And the day they believe she was killed, they don't know where, but I mean, I'm kind of guessing since he said he shot a raccoon, he shot her and then dismembered her and burned her body and buried it.
So awful. Wait, who do you think killed Tylee, though? Do you think it was Charles, or could it have been the uncle?
Chad or Alex, or together, or even Lori. So with JJ, so Tylee was first, and the suspicious part about that text was because Chad and his wife Tammy don't text like that. They're like, hey, hi, bye, get milk. It's not like long text. And he sends this novel to her this day, like this novel about shooting a raccoon and then having to burn the limbs.
Yeah, so it seemed like he was just like planting a story by texting these lines.
In case somebody heard the gunshot. So my thinking was we must have shot her and then destroyed her body to bury it. I don't know why he did not do that with JJ. JJ was 2 weeks later. Completely different.
I thought the son was first, because wasn't there a police interrogation where the daughter was also being interrogated?
That was for Charles Vallow's death in Arizona.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize that. Okay, thank you.
Yeah. It's very confusing.
So do you have any conjecture as to why the two children were killed in such different ways?
I know a lot of people are wondering about that. I don't like what I'm hearing in the trial about the way Tylee was taken apart, her body, because it wasn't just a dismembering.
It was like being hacked at, right? Isn't that what it looked like?
In the pelvic area.
Oh.
So she's a girl, he's a boy. I don't know. But it's so disturbing. And I just hope she wasn't alive for that. But JJ, he was alive, like he was smothered.
Yeah, but wrapped up in duct tape, right? And they showed it seemed like
Plastic
there were
bag
signs that maybe he was kind of trying to scratch at his neck to get the plastic bag off.
and signs of bruising in a struggle. And so I don't think it was much better for Tyler. I mean, I just hate to think about it, but
Well, either way, their deaths were both very painful and horrible, and
very painful.
you know,
Like, if you're going to murder me, man, hire a professional and just take me out. Like, you
yeah,
don't need to
please just
torture
want
me.
a couple of shots, or
Be
do
done.
something quickly. No
Yeah,
torturing.
I mean, they were probably drugged and I mean, who knows? And the thing is, they had all this arsenal. They could have just shot him up. You know what I mean? It's like, if you're going to murder somebody, but in terms of motive, I mean, according to the prosecutors, it's money. Because she continued to collect. Well, first of all, they killed Charles the same reason they killed Tammy, the same reason they killed everyone else. They wanted the life insurance. And they didn't get Charles life insurance because he knew what was going on. He was trying to call attention to this situation. But they were getting survivor benefits from Social Security. Sound familiar?
Yeah.
Yeah. So they were getting survivor benefits. So it was, like $6,000 a month. So she wouldn't have had to work. Good. Yeah. I mean, especially if you're living in Idaho. So although they went to Hawaii and were living it up in some condo there. And I mean, the question I have, and I'd love for the chat to answer, and you, Judy, is, because I'm going back and forth with this. Did they do this because they really believed this crap they were selling to people, that the end of the world was going to come, and so they wouldn't be caught and it would all be okay? Or were they just basically murderers and they were just wanted the money?
I think they were basically murderers and con artists that just wanted to enjoy their lives and forget about all other people, even their own family members. Yeah. So Angela asked whose fingerprints were on the duct tape. I thought I had read that it was Charles's fingerprints.
Not Charles. Charles is dead. Chad. I heard a partial.
Oh, Chad. Yeah,
I think I know everyone does Charles and Chad.
I'm mixing up the names.
Okay. I heard there was a partial print of Alex's. I didn't get to Chad's yet. I didn't listen to part of this. I'm having a hard time listening to some of this. It's just so awful. But Chad's tools there were 12 different, like, axes and shovels and whatnot. So I'm sure Chad's DNA was all over those, because those were his tools, and Tylee's DNA was all over those.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Okay. I just looked up an article. It says bombshell evidence. It's revealed that Lori's brother's fingerprints were found on the black garbage bag her son was buried in.
Right.
Yeah.
So he would have helped Chad. He didn't do
what
that
a
alone.
Horrible person. It's not even, I mean, what benefit would he get out of it? So weird.
That's the thing. He was just doing all her bidding, and he quit his job.
He was just a disgusting, horrible person himself too.
Yeah. Yep. They don't value life.
Yeah. Was Tylee's death some sort of weird ritual? I don't know. I mean, because weren't they saying that the kids had gone dark or something, like months
they turned
before
into
the
zombies.
kids?
That was their justification for murdering people. Like, if somebody didn't agree with them, or they felt they were a threat in any way, they considered them a zombie. So then it was their justification for murdering them. I personally didn't feel like those were ritualistic at all. I just felt like they were completely botched up. That's my person. Because at first it seemed like it was ritualistic, but I don't think they're that smart.
Yeah, just horrible people. Yeah, and then I remember, phone Lori. That was just like bizarre. It's like, can't you even pretend to act like you're sad and feel, pretend to feel bad that your kids were found murdered? It was so obvious. It's like, okay.
Right. And no denial, or
you didn't give a crap about your kids and you killed them.
Yeah. And no surprise or what? Nothing. Just,
well, I haven't looked at all the evidence, obviously, but like, wouldn't a good defense for her just be to say that her brother did it or her husband
Right.
did it?
This is where I think that's what they're going to have to do. I don't know that, at least as of yet, we haven't seen that her fingerprints were on any of this duct tape or plastic bags, but
Yeah.
maybe they're going to show her in the grocery store buying these things or something like that. But even if she just got conspiracy for those three, that would be, I think, 30 years. So that'd be 90 years plus the grand theft. So I don't think she's ever going to see the light of day.
Okay. What's the grand theft part?
The grand theft is collecting their social securities after they're dead.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah. So what about this? Because I don't know. I mean, on one of these news websites, it says she's charged with first-degree murder
No,
also.
she's being charged with first-degree murder for both Tylee and JJ, for conspiracy for both Tylee and JJ, and for conspiracy for Tammy, and then for grand theft by deception for Tylee, JJ, and I'm not sure about Tammy. I think Tylee and JJ. I have it written down here.
Okay.
But no, it's not. She is definitely being charged with murder, not just
conspiracy. Yeah, but either way, you know, I think at least they would be able to get conspiracy.
I would think so. If there, because one of the things I think they're trying to say is that, well, it happened in Alex's apartment, not Lori's. But Alex was staying with Lori and JJ was like staying in her room with her. It was kind of weird. So how could she have not been involved? You know what I mean? There's just no way this happened without her knowing.
Yeah, because she should have known. Yeah, should have known where her little kid was, especially since he had a disability. Yeah. Helen says the videos of putting their things in storage. Oh.
Right. So there were videos from the storage unit where after they were both gone, they just put all their stuff in the storage unit, like little blankets and all the children's toys. And it's just so sad. They also have videos of her and Chad going in and out of there, her and Alex going in and out of there, some guns going in and out of there. Also, when Brandon Boudreaux's attempted murder happened, they had videos of them taking the back seat of the Jeep out and the back spare tire thing so that he could like lay in there and shoot at him.
So suspicious. Jeez. Yeah, there's no explanation for that. Yeah.
No. Hey, Roxanne.
Hi, Roxanne. So Roxanne, I understand, is like a specialist in this case. So Roxanne, let us know if you want me to, if you want to join on the video. Or actually, I'll just go ahead and copy the link, and whoever really wants to show their face on camera and talk to us through the video, feel free to join in, because the more the merrier, right? Especially if you really know this case.
So, oh yeah, there's so much. There's just so much to this case. And then, of course, once this trial is over, regardless of the results, Lori Daybell will be theoretically, at least, extradited to Arizona to face charges for conspiracy on Charles. Now, they didn't charge her with murder, I believe, at least at this point. That could change, but she has been charged with conspiracy for Charles' death as well.
Okay, so, good.
Yeah.
Good. So they'll get her somehow. Oh, Roxanne says she's in the car. Okay. Oh. Yeah. Because I think, like, if you wanted to join, you'd have to use the link, which would mean you probably have to either show yourself or turn your phone away or something.
Yeah. It's crazy when people are moving around on the video. I get cartube.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I mean, do you want to go ahead and talk a little bit about the similarities you've seen between the Adelson Markel murder case versus this case? Or do you want to save that for your own channel?
No, I did just drop one video a few minutes before I went on. The similarities between Lori Daybell and Wendy Adelson. And the first 20, I'm sure I'm going to be adding to this list. Both of them, of course, have been named or charged with murder and or conspiracy to murder. Number 2, they both appeared on game shows.
Really?
Lori Vallow on Wheel of Fortune, and of course Wendy on The Biggest No, not the biggest
Weakest
loser.
link?
The weakest link. I always said the
Yeah.
biggest.
Biggest loser. Yeah.
Both of them are purported to have had a very friendly, social cheerleader personality that
Yeah.
everybody loved.
Good at charming people with their good looks. Yeah. Getting men to do what they wanted.
Both of them were involved in a nasty child custody battle that ended up with a dead father.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not part of this trial, but
Mm-hmm.
both of them, that for both of them resulted in significant financial gain.
Yeah.
Both of them, so Joseph Ryan was her third husband. Charles Vallow was her fourth husband. Both of them were attempted or murdered by her brother.
Oh, so what happened to Ryan, the
Joseph.
third husband?
Yeah. So Alex Cox, Lori's brother, the family assassin by, I'm going to air quotes that by
Yeah.
some accounts. He went after him with the taser and he fell and he kept chasing him. He hurt his back. He tried to kill him. He actually did go to jail for that for a while.
Oh.
Yeah. And then he ended up dead his death has been listed as a suspicious death, but have been no charges.
Mm-hmm.
He was cremated. He was kind of found alone and without it was just really tragic.
Well, where was he found?
In his apartment, and he had been dead for a couple of weeks.
Oh.
And by the way, I meant to mention the place that I get, the three top places where I get my information about this case. I get my information from lots and lots more than three.
Yeah.
But number one is Joseph Ryan's sister, Annie Cushing. She has a YouTube channel. It's called A Murderous Heart. And she goes into, she's a data analyst, and she goes into great detail about the history and the complexities. Also, Nate Eaton from East Idaho News, which is the reporter who broke this news when they found Lori. I'd heard about the missing children. I knew it was in the area where my friend's cabin was, and he was up there at the time. So we were talking about it on texting. And then he found out Lori was in Hawaii, and he's the reporter that was chasing her around saying, "Where are your children? Where are your children?" I don't know if you know.
Yeah, I think I did hear about that. Yeah.
Yeah. And then the third one is Jason Lum, who is the reporter in Arizona, who's really knowledgeable about Joseph Ryan, Charles Vallow, and all of the conspirators, because a lot of this started in Arizona.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it all started in Arizona.
Mm-hmm. So Polka Dots, thanks for being here, says, didn't Lori find Joseph's body?
I don't think she found it, but I think she had to identify it. I'm not 100% sure on that. And it was Annie Cushing did a great piece on her YouTube channel where because there was body cam video footage of everything in his apartment. And all of a sudden she thought, wow, I want to see what was all around. And she pointed out all of the things that were just weird about what was going on in that apartment that didn't fit his MO at all. And one of the things that was in there was a little girl's travel suitcase and a little neck pillow and things like that, as if he was going to take his daughter somewhere, which wouldn't make sense, or a daughter or a little girl somewhere, but she wasn't aware of him having a relationship. So it's just a lot of weird stuff. She said that, we do know that there was a window left open so somebody could have come in through the window. The heat was turned on 1,000,000 degrees. So it was super hot in there. So it was awful because his body was there for a couple weeks. And she said he was extremely OCD in particular. Every glass had to be on a coaster. Everything had to be put away. And there were glasses that weren't on coasters. There were toothbrushes left. Just a lot of things, he said, that didn't make a lot of sense. And then she also wasn't informed. Lori didn't even tell her that her brother died.
Isn't that strange?
Yeah, he was cremated, which I can't remember if Lori was the person making the decision. She shouldn't have been, because they weren't married anymore.
Oh.
But then she came to Lori's. She wanted to get some photographs and things like that. And she did another video about how weird that experience was. And I'm not going to go into it, but check out her channel. Maybe I'll share it in my
What's it called again?
A Murderous Heart.
A Murderous Heart. Oh,
right.
Okay. Wow, another thing to spend time on YouTube watching.
Oh my gosh, she goes into such detail. And but right now she's not producing videos because she's at the trial and she's very impacted by this. It's quite sad. And another reason I like to follow that is because it's Tylee's aunt. It's Joseph's sister, you know.
Yeah.
So it's not just somebody who isn't involved with the family. And it kind of reminds us that these people are, you know, human, and they've got a lot of
they've ruined a lot of people's lives
in their wake. Yeah.
So Roxanne says Lori knew long before Joseph Ryan's sister. They are both adopted.
Lori knew
what?
Long before Joseph Ryan. Yes, she knew that Joseph died. That's correct. And Joseph Ryan and Annie Cushing were fleshly sister and brother, but they came from a broken family. I think there were 5 children. Their mother had a very severe mental disorder, and they ended up having to all go to foster and be adopted out. I think that's what she's talking about. It's so sad. They did. Yes.
Oh, okay. Oh, such a horrible story here. Yeah. What's your next picture? Let me scroll down.
Oh, I was just okay. And let me just whip through the rest of this list. So another one is both of them were told they were special their entire life, Wendy and Lori, and were anointed by their mommy as the special one. Both of them had extremely inappropriate relationships with their creepy brothers by many accounts. Remember how Jeffrey Lacoste said how weird that Wendy's relationship was with Charlie? I don't know if you remember that. Yeah, and everyone says that about Alex and Lori, or many people say that. I shouldn't say everyone. Both are habitual liars. They both project their lies, accuse people of doing the thing that they're doing. They both mentioned going into mommy mode during their police interviews. Like, I'm such a great mommy. I mean, look what they did to their families. Allegedly.
Yeah. Although I think Wendy did a slightly better job of at least seeming concerned at times, you know, as opposed to Lori's appalling police interview where it was so bizarre. Like her whole attitude from the start was bizarre. Like, ha ha ha, we're here just having a chat.
Yeah. Really bizarre.
Yeah. It's like, whatever, you know, it doesn't matter that my kids are dead. You know, yeah. Such a weird person. Gosh. Yeah.
Yeah, so Charlie and Alex have a lot in common. I'm just going to tease out one thing there because we're limited on time too. But one of the things that I found that both Charles Adelson and Alex Cox had in common is they were both used sex tourism in South America.
Oh.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. So a couple of pervs.
Both of them just
immoral. Yeah.
Yep.
So Alex, was he married before, or did he just suddenly marry that woman Zulema for the first time?
He had a very brief marriage, and his ex-wife did call into the police after the children were missing. She gave an interview that you can find on YouTube, and she talked about how weird he was, and she really talked about Lori and Alex's inappropriate relationship. And so she got out of there within like they had a very short marriage. So he had a very brief marriage. I think he was trying to buy a bride from South America or something like that. But then, just Zulema for 12 days. So he didn't have family or children as far as we know.
Okay, so did Zulema come from South America?
No, but she was, I can't remember she does have quite an accent. I forgot what her nationality. I mean, I'm not sure if she's American or like Spanish American or Brazilian American. She has a Hispanic type of accent. I don't know what it is off the top of my head.
Yeah.
I'll
Okay.
be really interested to find out if they ever name the unnamed co-conspirators in this, or if they charge anyone else. I'm
Yeah,
wondering anyone
exactly.
else, Chile. Yeah, from Chile. There you go. I knew it was somewhere south. Yeah.
Okay.
I wonder
Thank
if
you.
anyone is, what your thoughts are in the comments about Melanie Gibb. If
Okay.
anyone
Who's that? Sorry. Who's that?
Melanie Gibb was Lori's bestie for a year. She
Mhm.
basically became best friends about the same time Lori and Chad struck up. Melanie Gibb
Mhm.
was around Lori a lot. And Melanie Gibb was who Lori told the police when the police finally caught up with her to do a welfare check on JJ.
Mhm.
Lori said, Melanie Gibb, JJ's with Melanie Gibb in Arizona. She lied to the police. And
Oh.
yeah, and she's sketchy to me. And she's like, oh, I never really believed any of this stuff. And I always, but she was there
Mhm.
with her boyfriend the night that JJ, they were among the last people to see JJ alive.
Mhm.
So
And yeah, that's just so sad and depraved. It's like, how come all these adults just didn't seem to care? How could the
exactly.
uncle either kill the nephew or have something to do with the murder of his nephew too? I mean, you
Right.
see these pictures of them all together looking happy.
I think the only one who really bought into all these crazy beliefs and like maybe killed and did these horrific things in the name of that, that there was like they were like saving these children by killing them type thing, was Alex, because he wasn't real bright.
Mhm.
The brother, yeah.
Mhm. Okay, Melanie is no longer with David Warwick, even though they married in the midst of this investigation.
Right. David Warwick was also there the night they believe that JJ was killed,
Oh.
in the apartment they were visiting. Melanie and he were dating, and then they got married. I know David Warwick testified, and um yeah, he was like, well, we don't really see each other. I live here, she lives there. I live in Utah, she lives in Arizona. It was kind of an unusual answer to their marriage.
Mhm. Okay. I'm glad she's not related to the Bee Gees, says Angela. Okay. She was involved in the casting, so was Zulema, David Warwick. Oh, so like a community of bunch of wackos that that decided that we gotta kill these children in a horribly brutal fashion.
Yeah, and these are the
Awful.
only ones we know about. Again, that neighbor said there was a whole bunch of them that
Mhm.
just literally left town when this
Mhm.
happened. Yeah.
Mm. Okay, Alex suffered, yeah, I remember reading about this traumatic brain injury
Right.
at age 16. Family says his personality changed. Yeah.
And
But
just think
what's
of, yeah, just think about the possibility that Lori might have weaponized this person,
Mhm.
Alex, and how conniving and awful that is for somebody to weaponize a person with either mental disabilities or just, or all of it. And he may
Yeah.
have been violent. Yeah. It's really
Easily
sick.
manipulated.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. This seems even more convoluted than the Dan Markel case.
It
Oh.
is. It's quite complex, and I don't think I would have been able to wrap my head around all this if I hadn't really been following from the beginning. And then as each person came in, and again, Annie Cushing's channel is just amazing. A Murder is Hard, and
Mhm.
I really feel for her, man. Sitting
Mhm.
there in the court. I mean, I have a hard time listening to the trial. Can you imagine being there? So this is
Yeah.
an image of Chad Daybell and his lovely attorney,
Uh-huh.
who is kind of weird too. His attorney is an oddball. This is when he was arraigned from his arraignment, and he finally spoke in his funny, odd way. I have that on one of my videos, but they kind of look alike, don't they?
Yeah, yeah, same kinda dour look on their faces, the whole sideway profile.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, Roxanne, yes, I wish you could talk too because it sounded like from our chat, I think on Surviving the Survivor, that Roxanne has really, really delved into this case and has a lot of good information to share. Yeah. Alex, TBI, impulse control issues. He was hypersexual.
Correct.
Sounds like Charlie.
Sounds just like Charlie and a little bit like Lori. I think she was a little bit of a sex addict as well.
Oh yeah. That's why she jumped for, had these very short-lived relationships. That's just insane.
5 marriages.
Yeah, with all these people dead.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay, I'm sorry. Yeah, we wish Roxanne could talk too. She knows so much.
Well,
yeah.
maybe we could do version 2 next week or something.
Yeah, if you want to come on again. Yeah, we'll see how many people on this channel are interested in the Vallow case. Yeah, because, I just noticed right before we started live streaming that Surviving the Survivor was also doing a live stream on their channel starting at 7:00, talking about the Vallow case. And I know they've had tons and tons of guests all talking about
That's right. That's right. They do a great job. And I forgot it was the same time too, but we got to do it when we got to do it.
Yeah,
because people can replay too. And Roxanne, you can always come on my channel if you want.
Yeah.
I have a lot of, I've got some videos on this. I went on with Katie and we did the police interview of Lori and Kylie, and we were going to do Alex next, but she's had some issues too. So Roxanne says, I think you can send me a voice link.
Yeah, I just checked on the invite little icon here, and the only thing that shows up would be that same link, but that would show you on video. I mean, unless you you could turn your camera away or set it
what
down.
You can do on StreamYard is when you log in, if you do give her the link, she can log in and she can turn off the camera and it'll just show her profile picture.
Yeah, because that's what Fancy did.
That's what Fancy does.
Yeah, somehow Fancy got to show an icon of her, her little symbol.
Right. That's what it does. That's
okay.
Exactly.
Well, if it works, it works. That'll be great. But so but I'm still thinking, like, what's the evidence? I mean, as Angela mentioned, this looks like a very circumstantial case. The evidence against Lori specifically for murder and conspiracy. Well, of course, all her weird actions around the time of the murder, her weird, just totally bizarre behavior right after the murders, not reporting the kids being missing, just running off to Hawaii, getting married, looking so happy, collecting the money.
Right. They do have Lori, Alex, and Chad in a constant text conversation during the murders and the burials as well. Mm-hmm. Now, I don't know if they can pinpoint Lori that she was at her apartment while they were doing it, which would just be, I think a lot. I mean, it depends on how the Idaho law reads as far as what a conspiracy is and what murder is. Because if she was if they were doing it for her, because she was the one who would benefit financially, then I think according to Idaho law, that is murder, not just conspiracy. I'm not sure how they're going to define it. We won't know that until they do the jury instructions at the end. But so the fact that she was involved, and I mean, I don't know if they have more. I mean, the trial's not over yet, so we don't know what they have everything yet. And you're welcome, Roxanne. And I do think they're holding back some for Chad's trial. And by the way, Chad's trial is supposed to be streamed.
So, that's what I heard.
And if anyone wants to do a primer on this, the other thing you can do is go to East Idaho News, because the preliminary trial for Chad, it wasn't for Lori because Lori was in an insane asylum for a while. But the preliminary trial revealed a lot. And you saw David and Melanie testifying and all that. So you can learn a lot from that prelim trial.
Okay. I see that Roxanne is trying to get on, because I see this little rectangle that shows up on my screen. It says Roxanne A, but it says devices not connected. They need to connect their microphone /cam before you can add them to the screen.
Oh, maybe you can. Well, she has to have her microphone on for sure.
Yeah. Okay. Yay. I think. Are you there?
Hi.
Yay. Oh my goodness! I'm so happy to talk to you guys. Hi, Judy. Hi, Dawn. Hi, everyone in the chat. Hi.
Well, I
Yeah.
mean, it is exciting to hear what you sound like at least, after
I
seeing all
know,
your
huh?
comments.
I know. Oh
Yeah.
my goodness.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm all
Stella
happy.
Stella wants to
Okay,
join in too.
so this happened, huh? Okay, good. We got it. So yeah, Dawn is right. There are many parallels here between. Okay, I just got back home. My supercharging pretty close to my house. At any rate, so yeah, if you hear my dog, I'm so sorry. He just likes to bark sometimes when I'm talking, and I'm so happy to talk to you guys.
Yeah.
So yeah, in between the Markells and Lori Vallows and Chad Daybell's case, there are many similarities. And this is when you could pretty much see how demented they all are,
Mhm.
all not the Markells, but the Adelsons. I'm so sorry I said the Markells because I keep wanting to say justice for Dan Markel. At any
Yeah.
rate, yeah, but there are many similarities. They're all pretty. It's crazy. It's crazy. This case, Judy, it's super crazy. I mean, for a minute there, when I was listening in through the trial, because I've been listening to this for a while now, and I've been following them for the past like 2 to 3 years of from pretty much from when the kids went missing, when Tylee and JJ went missing. And so as I was listening to the trial, and as I was listening to all the castings and all these people, Melanie Gibb, and you got Zulema, and you got Lori, and they're over there doing castings, and there are other characters as well. It's not just these three. There are many other women who were there, along with some men. And I don't know, Dawn, if you know about that other character, Mo, Mow, is the last name.
Yeah.
M-O-W, yeah?
And you know what is interesting about him is it came out in the trial that he was actually they checked I have a hard time saying this, but they checked the things around the children's bodies for his DNA as well.
Oh.
Yeah, he was he got hurt on the job. He was a former police officer in Arizona, but then he got involved with this whole Jason. You're talking about Jason. Now I'm forgetting. Not
Jason Mow, M-O-W is the last name.
Now,
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
And then there's another one, Dennis Mow. I don't know
Oh,
if I'm, yeah. So these guys are all intertwined, and they are all in this weird, call it a cult, call it whatever you want. But
yeah.
I don't see this as a cult. I see this more as a serial killer type of
I
deal.
do too.
These guys were serial killers. They are.
Mhm.
And I mean, and I don't know what's going on with the coroner over there in that state. Everyone is dead from natural causes.
Yeah,
How
that
could
is
that
bizarre.
happen?
Well,
Yeah.
the
It is
coroner
bizarre.
the
Judy,
court.
how does that happen?
I know. It's like the coroner was just like, yeah, whatever, natural causes.
Right.
Yeah,
Well,
it's like coroner shows up and goes, "Oh yeah, you died of natural causes, and so did you, and so did this." I mean, come on.
these are tiny little towns, though, and the coroners don't have medical knowledge. I mean, and they're all like pretty religious and button down people for the most part. So they were way in over their heads, is what happened, I think.
Mhm.
I agree. They're LDS. Okay, fine. But
But
you know what? The Church of the Latter-day Saints does not condone this.
no,
They don't teach this stuff.
well, that's what I'm saying.
I don't think this has anything to do with religion.
No, I don't either. And
No,
but
they
the
wanted to start their
problem
own
is
religion. Can you
I
hear
have
me?
is with Arizona. Like this is Chandler, Arizona. They had the means to investigate Charles' murder. Joseph Ryan's thing went just like unnoticed. He just got put into the cremated without any investigation. And this is a big city. What is their excuse? And if they would have caught them, or at least Lori, if she was involved with that, and Alex, which he has his fingerprints all over it, then the kids might still be alive. It might never gone to Idaho, right?
The
Well,
kids
that's what
might
I'm
still
afraid
be
of.
alive if Joseph Ryan was still alive. So what happened there was that she said that he was essaying the children,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And then not only that, she fought him and she fought him. And finally, and I seriously believe that that was also a murder. I
Oh,
don't think that he died of, and they said that he died of natural causes too. I mean, how did
yeah,
that happen?
Mhm.
yeah, the whole
Everybody
Yeah,
around these people, how
that's
lucky
bizarre.
are these two? They're so lucky.
Mhm,
Talk about getting away with murder.
mhm.
yeah, they
Well,
did.
Stella is here. Stella, can you hear us? Because we haven't heard you say much. I think you were trying to say something.
Oh,
Are you there?
Roxanne, you mean?
No,
Can you
Stella.
hear me?
Yes, I can hear
Oh, I
you.
thought
Hi,
that was.
Stella.
Can you hear me?
Hi,
Yes.
Stella.
Hi, you hear me? Okay, because I had to mute my mute
Yes.
YouTube, and I'm on here now.
Okay. Welcome, Stella. What would you like to say
Hi,
about this?
Judy. Watching this, listening to the trial, I shouldn't say watching it. I have a feeling, I'm not saying that she is going to walk. I think there is so much on Alex and so much on Chad. She might have conspired, and I called her the mastermind, because when she and Chad met, I do believe that the two of them were they had the proper chemistry, and they
Right.
sold their souls to the devil. I think they wanted to start their own religion. This killing all of these people. I don't know how deep, and there has not been any aha moments
Right.
in this trial. Maybe because we have learned so much over the last few years, but I'm a little afraid that she's going to get off, because her fingerprints aren't anywhere,
Yeah.
or her DNA. Her brother's dead, so let's blame. I think that
Yeah.
we can
Blame the
blame the
brother.
dead man. And Chad, I don't know. I think Chad is going to get it. I'm not sure about her, unless they have something up their sleeve that is going to really blow our minds. But where is it?
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
I agree.
but
I mean,
conspiracy.
even with her daughter, with Tylee being, I mean, that poor child went through so much. Why did they concentrate on her pelvic area?
Yeah.
It was almost as if they didn't want Tylee to ever be reproduced on this earth
Right.
or in a spiritual world, is what I was getting from that.
Mm. Yeah, because they're so crazy. Yeah.
Why did they destroy her and try to, but yet JJ, not that two children should have died so terribly, but he was intact.
Right.
Mhm.
What was their mindset? Are we
That's
going
what
to
I
ever
thought
know?
too.
Dawn, do you think we're going to ever know?
I don't know if we'll ever know. I think they're going to get her on at least conspiracy, and there'll be 3 charges, or at least 2, and that's 30 years each. So she's not getting out, and then the grand theft. So she's not getting out, and then she has to go to Arizona and face Charles' murder. So she's
Mhm.
not getting out.
Yeah. So at
But I
least something is going to happen to her where she's not going to get out of jail or
but I do
prison.
agree that they haven't really proven murder yet. But the
Yeah.
trial's not over, and I do agree about the pelvis stuff. I was really concerned about that. That was my initial thought. It's like, okay, I could see Chad getting Alex to do that. I don't know if you guys noticed, but they said these were left to right strikes. So who's left-handed? They haven't mentioned that yet.
Ah, yeah. Interesting. Well, what about Angela's comment or question? Did Lori love bomb Chad into doing all of
I
this?
think so.
Yeah. Yeah. Mhm.
Mhm.
I think so. And I definitely think money was her motivation, because her disappointment when she found out that she was no longer getting her husband's life insurance policy, he must have known. Charles must have known
Oh, he knew.
something was coming down the
Yeah,
pike.
he knew. Yeah.
And
Bad.
I just, for the life of me, cannot imagine at that moment when he knew he was going to die. like what went through his head.
Right.
Yeah, pretty awful and macabre. Yeah. Roxanne, would you like to say anything else about the case? I kind of feel like we need to wind it up because I'm trying to keep my live streams to be about an hour.
Yeah.
Roxanne, are you
Well,
there?
yeah, I'm here. I'm here, Judy. Yeah. So basically, here's my take on it. Okay. I could only look at it from one side, which is psychological, which is the only way that I could look at anything, because that's my background. So, what I see here is serial killing. The church has nothing to do with it. We were in STS Nation the other day, and they were talking, and they were saying, "Oh no, it's a cult. It's a cult mentality. It's a cult." It's not. This has nothing to do with cults. It really doesn't. Because even if they were a cult, I mean, a cult of what, like 10 people? Let's say 15.
Oh, there
at
were more.
max.
There were more people than that. We're just not
Were
hearing.
they?
Over
Okay,
time,
all right.
yes.
So,
Yeah.
okay, yeah, I know. I heard that they were gonna buy like 100 or so acres there in Idaho, and then they were gonna go ahead and build this the firstborn church. You know, is what they were gonna they were gonna build.
Right.
Yeah, the church of the firstborn or whatever they were calling it. Yeah, and so and I'm thinking, okay, yeah, here we go. You know, it could have turned into a Waco. However, it's all the prosecution nailed it in opening. They said it's about sex, money, and power. And it is. It really is. And that's all it is. It's nothing else. Lori doesn't care about the LDS. I don't care how well she knows the scripture. I don't care how well affiliated she is and she goes to the temple every day. Okay, it doesn't matter. This woman just did not want her children. She didn't
Her
want
sister summed it up perfectly when
the what?
her sister Summer summed it
Yeah.
up perfectly
Yeah,
when
yeah,
she
yeah.
said there are no scriptures for murdering your children.
Yeah, there aren't in any
And
religion. Yeah, if you want to look at any religion, they don't condone murder in any religion whatsoever. So this was completely, this was what she did was just, she just wanted to be away from, especially JJ. JJ was because when you have a child with autism or any, developmental challenges of any kind, it is very hard to take care of them. It is. You need a lot of help. You really do.
Yeah.
And so these families do become overwhelmed, especially the primary caregiver. And she was the primary caregiver because Charles was flying everywhere working. So she was done with it. She was done with that life. She was done with him. And then she meets Cuckoo over there, Chad Daybell, who has like 5 fictional, really stupid books, and all he does, and then in between when he doesn't have book sales and stuff going on, he's over there digging graves to make money, and I seriously think if she wasn't, Judy, we have to ask you this, since you're the attorney. She wasn't there, but you do not have to be there to be convicted of a crime, right?
Yeah, of course. That's right. That's why circumstantial evidence often is what convicts people.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Wendy yesterday on STS, Wendy, she's a great advocate for feminist rights and so forth. However, she kept on saying, "Oh, she's going to walk. She's going to walk." She was pissing everybody off in the chat.
Well, clearly she doesn't know the legal standards and the way things work in the legal system.
Well, according to her, she's always for the prosecution and so forth, very little for the defense. And she said this over and over. And and I'm thinking, why are you saying this? She is not going to walk. There's no way. If she walks, oh my goodness. I mean, no, Dawn.
Yeah. Well, who's Wendy? I mean, because I was like, who? Wendy Adelson?
No, not Adelson. No. I know, huh? I mean, the name. My goodness. Yeah.
Who is that?
I have nightmares about Charles Adelson. Wendy is an attorney. I don't know her last name. She was there yesterday on STS, and she was saying, no, she's going to walk. They don't have enough. Prosecution didn't do enough. I seriously think prosecution's doing great. They're doing whatever they could. Yeah, we don't have the smoking gun yet.
What they're working
but we will.
I mean,
Yeah, it's not over yet either. But
no,
also,
it's coming to an end. I have a feeling next week it's going to be a wrap up.
the jury is going to hold the mother responsible for protecting her children, and if all they have to prove is that she wanted this to happen, and that they did it on her bidding, basically.
Yeah, did it on her bidding. So if that's the standard, whatever the standard is up there, then I think that makes it easier to prove instead of having to prove what she actually did to,
right. That her
cause the murder.
fingerprints weren't necessarily on. The only thing
You
I'm
know-
going to say really quickly about the cult thing, it's good. I was thinking along those same lines. The cult, the people who were part of this group, they needed that group or cult, whatever you want to call it. Lori needed control. So you're right in that it wasn't religious for Lori, but she knew enough, especially partnering up with Chad, to be able to sell this and be charismatic enough to sell this idea of we're special, we're the 144, and we're all this. But I agree, it wasn't religious for Lori. I do believe that Alex bought the whole thing hook, line, and sinker. And that's why he did all this bidding. But I don't necessarily think that they were going to create a cult of murderers. I think it was going to be just based on what she needed and what they needed to get money. And then the cult organizing this group would have probably, they were looking at it, I would guess, as some kind of source of future income, that these people would support them financially.
Okay.
Oh, absolutely. It was financially based because they were gathering all this food. Dawn, the food that they were gathering.
That's an LDS thing too, by the way. But
is it? Oh, okay. Yeah, I didn't know that.
That's okay. But the point I'm saying is, it could be a cult, but that doesn't mean Lori and Chad were really religious. I mean, I don't know about Chad, but Lori has a lot of dead bodies around her.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So that's all I'm.
Dawn. Also, what intrigued me was how they just moved all over from one place to the next. And okay, I know probably Hawaii from Arizona to Arizona isn't as far as it would be from New York or New Jersey, but how do you just pick up and move and then move back and then move again? And I mean, if you put that map up to all the places and then backwards, she moved so many times. Why?
Well, but because they were running from the police, they were running from
asking where the murders.
Well, even before that, she had different IDs. She was using multiple burner phones.
Yeah, 18 phones. Yeah, she's just like bonkers, and that's why I agree with Too Deep, because this is also why originally I didn't really want to cover the case, because I was like, this is so disturbing. There's like a bazillion people and all their names. I can't keep it straight. This is giving me a headache. And it's freaky reading about all this, especially hearing about how the kids were killed. And didn't they say that they found Kylie's remains melted in a bucket, like part of her remains? I'm like, that is absolutely disgusting, to think about those poor investigators that had to come across all those pieces and remains, and so awful. And the people having to do the autopsy and look at the photos. It's just awful. So, yeah, I mean, I think there was a psychologist. I really liked her. She was on that Surviving the Survivor show maybe about 2 or 3 days ago. And I thought she made a good point, saying that sometimes it's not good to just keep focusing on these horrible true crime cases, because we need mental breaks too. There's only so much an individual can take. Constantly hearing about these creepy cases and stuff. So I totally understand if some people are just like, forget it. I'm not gonna even have this in my brain.
Excuse me, can I just interrupt before I lose?
I'll interrupt. Oh, I'm sorry, Stella.
Oh, it's okay.
Okay, I'm a psychologist myself. Okay, I disagree,
Roxanne,
because when we're looking at
us
cases,
a little bit. Do you think there should have been more arrests from what we know, and from the beginning up until this point?
Oh, in Arizona, 100%. Arizona dropped the ball. Yeah,
but there should have been other people arrested. that are not.
The co-conspirator. You mean all
Yes.
the gigs?
Yes.
And I hope they will be after the trial. I hope. I mean, some of them have deals to testify and things like that.
Okay.
Yeah,
I mean,
I would hope, but I do think that this is a small town, and they were overwhelmed. So
Yeah. And
law
sorry,
enforcement-
guys, but I'm really sorry, but I do have to get going. So I'm sorry. It sounds like we're just having this great old time, talking about this case. And this is so awesome to
hopefully
be
we
able
can
to
do it
talk to
again.
Bella and Roxanne finally, after just
Aw.
communicating through our comments.
Yeah, and I
stuff.
want to hear your final thoughts another time, Roxanne. So
Yeah, we will have final thoughts because this case is still ongoing.
yeah,
And to real quick note there, we watch these things because we see ourselves as a character in them. We are either the defense, we're the jury, we're the victim, we're the perpetrator, whoever we are in that case. That's why we're watching them. This is how the human psyche just works, and that's why people are so drawn to true crime, and they're just watching, because you could actually see yourself within a case, any case, really. Yeah. And so, but this one is too bizarre. This one's like Once Upon a Time type of deal, where they're just opening up portals and stuff in their homes.
Yeah.
It's pretty sad. It is.
No,
it is. I'm not
has been a
trying to
busy
make
week.
light of it. It is absolutely gruesome. It is absolutely horrific, and I hope they do both serve life for the rest in prison, because that's where they really belong.
Yeah, exactly. They're dangerous to society. So you guys can stay on if you want, but we'll just go ahead and say goodbye to all our awesome viewers out there. Angela, Hive Mind, Concussion, Helen, everybody who's been participating. Thank you so much for your support of this channel. And please do, I'm going to check out Dawn's video tonight too. So I look forward to watching Dawn. She has a great YouTube channel. So thank you guys. And hopefully, so tomorrow is my wacky sort of quasi live stream video, which Dawn said it was okay. I was kind of wavering and thinking like, well, maybe this is too embarrassing or too goofy, but what the heck, like people who are really into the Dan Markel case, I hope you enjoy it. I impersonate Donna as well as June. So I think I'll probably premiere it at around 5 or 5:30 tomorrow. So hope you guys will be on the live chat, and hope you enjoy it, and that nobody's totally offended and gonna send me negative comments.
Ignore the negative comments.
It's all in good. It's it's your creativity and your humor, and we all need that.
And you're doing a beautiful job with your channel, Judy.
No, and you know what, Judy? I think the other parties are watching, so I'm glad you're doing that.
Yeah. I mean, one of the other YouTubers who's really following the case told me, well, the Adelsons deserve all the ridicule they get. So, I mean, if I'm telling the truth, these are Donna's words, all those whacked out words where she's like talking about religion and the Nazi youth uniforms and try to pretend the kids are Catholic, get them baptized. It's so bonkers. And I'm still making another video about that, maybe for the next week or two. And I'll put that together and hope you guys really have some good laughs off of that too, because it's all about getting justice for Dan and spreading the word. And
absolutely.
Telling
first
people
and foremost
what the case is about. Yeah. Okay. Thank you guys.
Love you guys. Thank you so much. Thank you for having me on.
Sure. Thanks for joining in.
Thank you, Judy.
Thank you for
Dawn.
doing the
Thanks, Stella.
Okay.
Bye. See you in chat. Dawn, thank you.